Don't get me wrong, it's great TV,
Yep.
it's great theater. I think after a while, though, it just kind of grows tired a little bit. But
he asked that question earlier today.
this team is okay. They're in the playoffs currently. I don't think anybody thought they were going to be the 2004 version of the Pistons surprised everybody. So, I think where they need to be, they're kind of there.
Stan Van Gundy needs to start eating a salad.
Well, minus that team general.
At the pressers, because I loved it when Leland used to eat the salad.
Oh, yeah.
Listen, you knew damn well what he was doing. Everyone focused on their salad, and no one cared about the team. It was, in my opinion, it was a genius.
No, it was genius. I mean, that's the one thing Austin doesn't do all that much. Like Leland would give you inside information, right? And then you could do whatever you want with it. It just, you can't say that it came from him.
Yeah.
But, I mean, so I like it when coaches does that, give you off the record stuff, and then you can choose to do whatever you want with it. As long as you obviously don't quote Leland saying it. But the other thing, you're absolutely right. I mean, that guy was, he had the media wrapped around his finger.
Oh, yeah.
And when I think back to it.
Sparky Anderson?
Yeah. Well, when I think back to it, I'm like, oh, he did a really nice job. But that also comes with experience. Stan Van Gundy's the exact same way. I mean, that dude's been around forever.
Yep.
And, he gets what he needs to do. But like, I kind of chuckle when I hear all the hubbub, all the, I guess, dissatisfaction with the Pistons, because I kind of think, like, this is what you expected, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I'm not dissatisfied. I'm just waiting for
Oh, it sounds like you're dissatisfied.
No, I'm waiting for a floor leader, young man. Give me a floor leader. Give me somebody out there who's going to call the plays and run the plays and keep these guys from blowing up in referees' faces and keep Caldwell Pope from going insane. Like
I think a lot of people look at Andre Drummond, the best player should be the leader. See, my opinion, last year Jennings was their best player. I mean, once John Smith was gone, that team really took off. I mean, if he never got hurt, you never know what would have happened last year.
Well, Josh Smith is, we all know what he does.
Jennings, maybe Jennings is pissed off that Jackson got the $80 million and he didn't.
He's back in Houston now.
Well, I know he had a big block last night to save their win. But I am not disappointed with the Pistons as a whole. I think they're doing fine, but when are they going to stop this up down thing of beating Golden State and then losing to New Orleans?
This is year 3, and it's really year 2, right?
I understand that.
So, and I think they've come leaps and bounds to where they were to where they are now. I mean, you have a product on the floor that's actually worth watching right now.
Oh, absolutely.
Compared to what it was. And listen,
I'm not denying that.
I'm not saying you don't want to win a championship. I'm not all for moral victories or anything. I just think certain teams, you have to look where they were and look where they're progressing to. And that's why, I mean, you're right. Could they use a point guard? I mean, absolutely. But I watch this team. They compete hard at times. Other times, I don't know.
I need Carmelo Anthony at the 4.
Yeah. If you want one, yeah.
Old bit right there.
Now, how funny, when they hired Stan Van Gundy, what was the first thing they talked about? Him being the president, him being the coach. Yeah. So, when they were chirping the other day, they had nowhere to go.
I do love that.
Yeah. So,
I do love it. I mean, it's almost like, so Brandon Jennings walks into Stan Van's office and says, Coach, I'm just not happy here. And then Stan Van's like, well, hold on a second. Put up a GM hat. What do you say you're not happy here? Well, can you bring back the coach, actually? Oh, yeah, I'm your coach now. I'm your coach. Oh, yeah, I want to talk to the GM. Yeah. I mean, it is weird how that works out.
So what happened the other day kind of really escalated with Dumars. At the end of Dumars.
Poor Dumars.
Yeah, he got
sick. Bill
Davison
died.
died.
He's going to be possibly taking over New Orleans.
Oh, that's big.
All right, that's
big one opportunity.
Well, I mean,
it makes perfect.
We talked about the Pistons broadcast.
Is it McNeese State down in Louisiana?
Yeah, he's from the area. He went to
He's from like Pixelawi.
Yeah, that's home for him. So he's going home.
Yeah, so
Big Easy.
There's that rumor going around.
Just as long as they get rid of those two-tone uniforms.
And the last thing I wanted to bring up before we end the show, guys, is I want to talk about the whole Michigan city thing. Michigan, there is the whole thing with them losing recruits to people that they're committed before, and now going after doing the over recruiting like Alabama and SEC schools do, and as we're all
About tweet the other day.
Michigan fan, you got Michigan here.
Joe,
What do you?
Oh, he was ready about Jim Harbaugh's tweets.
What do you think of this whole hardball thing? I really, I've heard from time to time about it on the radio. I'm curious. This week alone, he's seems to be setting the social media world on fire this week.
Dan Leach and Jeff Rieger trolling Michigan State fans.
Yeah. Never.
I'm nobody, not trolling too, buddy.
I never trolled anybody. I'll just say this. Wait, he took the tweet down?
I think he did.
Why did he take the tweet down? Oh no, there it is.
Oh, no, okay. I thought
There it is.
I was looking for it.
They said artificial sweeteners were safe. WMDs were in Iraq, and Anna Nicole married for love. They said.
Yeah, Anna Nicole, yeah.
Man, this guy's a tweeting machine.
Yeah.
Does he really tweet that, or does he have somebody tweet it?
No,
I think he tweets it.
It's him. It seems too neurotic to be anybody else.
I mean,
Maybe his wife tweets it for him.
I think those are his own words. I could be wrong. I have no idea. Like, for instance, Brad Ausmus, I know, tweets his own stuff. When he tweets, he's not as interesting as that, obviously.
No.
I tell you what, I'm a Michigan fan, though, so you're just going to say that I don't care and I won't overlook it. But how about this? Admit it. It happens everywhere.
Sure.
And it happened here.
100%.
And yeah, all the people that say, oh, it would never happen at Michigan State, come on.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's how it works. This kid was a Brady Hoke recruit, and it's unfortunate that he thought he was going to Michigan. He calls his coach and says, "Hey, yeah, about that. You're not coming there anymore." It is unfortunate, but I think it's time to just So you wanted Jim Harbaugh, you wanted to win, and he did the same exact thing in Stanford. So this is what comes with winning. So you break a couple kids' hearts. I mean, it happens. What are you gonna do? So I get is Michigan higher than mighty? No, they're not. Do they do the same thing everybody else does? Of course. Do Michigan fans just need to admit it? Absolutely.
Thank you.
They're the same as everybody else. Who gives a damn? As long as you win. Let's say Michigan wins the national title next year. I don't think they will, but let's say they do. Is there going to be any Michigan fan out there that says, "Oh my God, this is tainted. This just doesn't feel right because what they did to that kid before last season"? I mean, who gives a damn? To tell
They've
you
been
the
doing it
truth?
for years, like you said, and when they were doing it years ago, there was no Twitter. So if there was no Twitter, this wouldn't even be.
Here's the beauty of life, like what I figured out, okay, especially being a Michigan fan. I'm a Walmart Wolverine, so I didn't go there. I wish I could have gone there. I was stupid in school. I know that shocks everybody. I didn't get good grades.
Join the club.
So I did not go to Michigan. And I didn't even apply to Michigan because they would have laughed at me. So I didn't do it. So that's fine.
Join that club too.
But here's the deal. I kind of feel as long as you admit, then everything's fine. Like, for instance, I admit that at times I've trolled Michigan State fans.
Yep.
I admit that I flat out hate Michigan State. When Michigan State lost to, who was it, Nebraska? At the Breslin, It made me giddy. It made me very happy. I don't care. I mean, it's just how I feel. I can't change it. I don't know why I feel this way. I just do. I dislike Michigan State. So for this, if you're a Michigan fan, just admit it. Just admit it. Okay, kid wasn't good enough to play here. They don't want the kid. They got somebody better. They move on. I don't know how this is a story.
2-3 years ago, or maybe 4 years ago, you asked a question on air, and I called in one time. You asked about, it's funny, I want to see if you remember this, Michigan State, Notre Dame. I told you I was a Michigan and a Notre Dame fan. You were like, how could that even be possible?
I know, that blows my mind every time he says that.
I got to get out of here. Can't believe I ate your pizza.
And I want to ask you this question because I've asked a lot of people. Who's the only team in the 41 bowl games this year that didn't score a point?
Only Michigan State.
Michigan State, yeah, absolutely.
And they almost scored a point, but they kind of cut through a bit. That's another thing. I mean, if we're getting off track here, that's another thing. And again, this is going to come across as trolling because I'm a Michigan fan. But you know what also I like?
We troll at Freddy's Pizza.
Well, good. Freddy's trolls.
Troll away.
But what I like is I like the Michigan State people that, listen, in 2012 when the Tigers went to the World Series and got swept by the Giants, was that a successful season? Sure. Mm-hmm. Was that a great season?
No.
Absolutely not. Were you allowed to be disappointed because you went there and you got swept and lost to two, at the time, soft-tossing lefties in games 1 and 2, and Gene Lamont sent Prince in game 2? Exactly. Get pissed off about it. You're allowed to. The same thing goes with Michigan State in this game against Alabama. All these Spartan fans are saying, well, we met our expectations. We got here. We met our expectations. I'm sorry, when you play a game, no matter when you play that game, and when it's a big marquee game that you earned to be in, it counts against you when you lose.
Yep.
So when you didn't score a point, when you embarrassed yourselves like they did, I think it downgrades your season. Now, Michigan State fans refuse, and they'll say, well, we won the Big Ten and we beat you, and that's cool. I got no issue with any of that.
They didn't beat us.
They beat Michigan fair and square.
The scores
They didn't beat
indicate.
us. What kills me is how many Michigan State fans, how many people thought that Michigan State had a chance against Alabama. They killed me. I couldn't believe it.
I actually thought they would have a chance.
I thought they had
and I wonder if Cook doesn't throw that pick late in that first half if things are different.
It would have been 38-7. It would have been 38-7.
You might be right. I mean, you look how Clemson and Alabama competed, and then you say it was Michigan State at the same level. And it would have benefited the Big Ten if Michigan State would have lost to Ohio State, and the Buckeyes would have got to go instead and see if they were going to be able to hang with Alabama. But the bottom line is, like, Michigan is above nobody else. They do this sort of stuff. Everybody does it. Let's just admit it and move on.
Jim Harbaugh needs a helicopter.
I feel like if you admit stuff in life,
you feel better about it.
It's just life is so much easier. Why hide anything?
You know, real quick, getting back to the Michigan
Real
thing.
quick.
I just want to bring up Anthony Broom from our friend Anthony Broom from Maize and Brew, who's been a past pizzacave guest. He brought up a tweet. In the last few days, this is about a day ago, in the last few days, U of M has lost the 58th and 85th ranked cornerbacks in 2016 and will likely replace them with the 8th and 13th. They are fine. Yeah. And his tweet makes absolute sense going back to what you said about, the Eric Swenson thing.